Every company has a story on how they got started or why they went into business. One such company had extensive experience in the biochemical field and used that knowledge and experience to create a collagen supplement to help those with joint pain. We'll discover how collagen works and how it may help people with joint pain. We'll also learn how Dr. Alan Kramer turned his extensive knowledge and experience into a business to help others. Today on Small Business Talks. A person's life experiences and their past accomplishments are strong influences to why a person starts a business and the focus that they have on the products and services that they make. Our guest on today's podcast is a living example of this and how he is making a difference to a wide range of men and women. 43 million Americans are affected by joint pain. That's almost 16% of the population. Much of this pain is due to the result of aging. And as a result, many adults are looking for help with joint pain. Our guest today is Dr. Alan Kramer, founder of SB Edge. Welcome to the podcast, Dr. Kramer.
Thank you. It's good to see you today.
Good to see you as well. I think before we start some of the questions, I think it'd be kind of interesting is your background, how you got into founding a company and the products that you make. And if you just give us a little bit of a background as to, where you started and where you are today.
Okay. I'm a native of Northwest Iowa. And in my earlier years, I wanted to go on to advance studies. So for a bio, I have a master's degree, Kansas State University in organic chemistry. I went to the American University in Washington, D.C. I have my PhD from American University also in biochemistry. I spent time working at the National Institute of Mental Health for quite a few years on multiple sclerosis. As a result of most of those things, I have like 21 publications in that area dealing with the science. Married a lovely lady, and we decided to move back to Northwest Iowa from Washington, D.C., where I was born. I came back here into a farm family operation. And after a while, a number of people contacted me because I was a scientist to start looking at animal vaccines, which led to me about 25 years ago, starting the company that we're going to talk about today was biochemical. We started about 20 years ago. We made a product that we thought was important called chondroitin sulfate. It was for joint pain. And so after 20 years and being the major producer of chondroitin sulfate for joint pain, we were known as quite an expert in the whole area of joint pain for animals and humans. And as a result of that, about 5 years ago, I sold Sioux Farm, which is an offshoot of it, to another major corporation. We backed into Sioux Biochemical for about the last 6-7 years. And we had so much experience in joint pain. We were going to look at a new product in joint pain, which was the collagen that we're going to make from bovine cartilage.
Very interesting. I mean, I had to have you talk about that because I found it very interesting. I'm very big about how our past kind of dictates where we go in the future and why we get involved with things. So I thank you for that bit of a bio to go into that. So speaking of joint pain, why are so many people experiencing joint pain?
Okay, good question. Joint pain is a result of two things. Sometimes injury, but the main thing is aging. It's kind of said that by the time people are 65, almost 3/4 of the American population will have joint pain issues. And that's why there's this area of looking for remedies or cures or what for joint pain. It affects everybody. And what happens, it affects our mobility. As Americans, we're mobile people. We want to get out. We want to walk. We want to play. We want to bike. We want to play sports. And so for a lot of people, it really is affect joint pain affects our mobility.
That's true. That is true. So when we talk about the joint pain, I know you mentioned that a lot of it is the cartilage that is in the joints. So what is cartilage in the joints? What is it made of?
Okay, cartilage is a web that is formed, and it has to be flexible, and it has to be durable. Your cartilage is what absorbs. Well, first of all, it provides the fact that you can move a joint. It'd be bad if we could not. All of our joints have motion, and every time we have motion, in between that motion, there is friction. And just like we know in metal, when you have something like that, it has to be lubricated. And so we know that the human body, every time we have motion, our hands, our feet, our knees running, and we do a lot of motion, and sometimes even like hard work. And let's say we're on our feet during our occupation and we're lifting and we're putting a lot of stress. We're basically talking about today, I think we're going to talk about our knees, but it affects joint pain as can be in other joints, our hands. And we're going to talk about what we call aging, and we also call disease. There's a disease called also arthritis, which is a cause. But mainly, we're going to talk about today the general thing about age-associated joint pain or joint disease. So it's going to be age-associated most of our talk, but we can go into other areas today too if we want to talk about it.
I was going to ask. I know age and also the just the sheer usage, the friction that over the years on something like that. Are there any other causes for the cartilage to degrade within a joint?
Well, yeah, this goes into the whole area of rheumatoid arthritis, which is not caused by aging and is a really serious problem today. It is a reaction where your body is fighting against, and your body is sort of destroying itself. It's an immune reaction where your body is attacking your joints and the cartilage in your joints and is causing damage to the point that sometimes today we have to, like for knees, repair our joints and replace them because the damage has been so severe.
Wow. Now, let me ask you this. How did they even come up with understanding the different things that are causing? Were there studies, or was this something that went on, or what did you see that was like the common factors? What were evidences that you were seeing that this was the case?
Okay. Well, throughout history, mobility has always man's greatest achievement is that we can move and move around. We're not like a rock where we stand still. And so mobility, as youngsters, we were strong, but as olders, we still want to be mobile, but we're having such pain in our joints. It could be our hands, it could be our neck, but mainly our knees and our ankles and our hips cause they wear out. And there are two reasons. One, you can say there's an infection, but there's other one that's just the natural aging process. Our joints lose their collagen. Every joint has two collagen layers. The one that both movable parts are covered with collagen, and that collagen is where that interaction takes place. And it takes place also the fact that there's a lubricant in there also.
We know that collagen is helping to repair the joints. Can you maybe enlighten us a little bit about how they figured that collagen was help, or how did we get to where collagen was something that helps?
Okay. First of all, collagen is the cartilage is a polymer that contains the collagen.
Okay.
So we talk about cartilage. What we have in our knees is really cartilage. And the cartilage is a web, and it's a mixture of the chondroitin, and then the collagen forms these unique structures that are strong but still flexible. And as we use those, they are being replaced naturally by your body. But what happens is as you get older, it's replaced slower. And so you can affect that when you were younger, you had cartilage damage. As you get older, that damage isn't repaired as fast. And what happens is you have nerves among the cartilage that grows. And when you hit the nerves, it becomes painful. And so we now have the fact that movement causes pain. And now and we call this now joint pain. It's in the news every day. We talk about joint pain, and basically today what we're talking about is joint pain. There's other ways, but we're going to stick only with joint pain today. There could be other uses for the cartilage, but today we want to talk about when cartilage is damaged and the pain that it causes.
I think one of the things when we talk about collagen supplements is that we see so many things out there. And I think, and so I'm going to ask you a bit of a loaded question. Will any collagen supplement work, and how long will it take to repair a joint?
Okay. Collagen needs to be stimulated. We do have the method to repair. We have the cells there that repair the collagen, but they need to be stimulated by another product. And what we are using today is we're looking at the bovine collagen. It does trigger an immune response. It starts in the gut, and the gut then tells us to go to the joints, and it starts the mechanism of remaking the collagen that is being lost. There's cells there that have to be stimulated again. We do have the method to repair the collagen, but it has to be told that it should repair it and make more. There is what we call maintenance, and then we call this what's needed because of loss. We have to rebuild. Maintenance is one thing, but rebuilding what's lost is what we're talking about today. Because once we lose our collagen, we have this unique situation where there are nerves in there, and your nerves are telling your body you're losing too much collagen because it causes pain. And that's really what we're going to talk about today too, is joint pain and how do we kind of help to remove that from our life experience.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about basically what undenatured type, or maybe you should even talk about, first of all, what the types, we talk about type 2 collagen, undenatured. If you could maybe give us a little bit of insight onto that, okay, and how that helps and how that works with joint pain.
Okay. When you start with the tissue, like we're talking about, it comes from the trachea. We're going to talk about the tracheas. The collagen is in a form that contains sensory molecules. The molecule has on the side of it, we're going to call them, I'm just going to call it sugar molecules. And the sugar molecules are the ones that trigger. They have a special unique. And so one of the two things we have to do is most collagens are water soluble, 90%. But to make them water soluble, they have damaged the molecules significantly to the point where the trigger mechanism, those molecules really do not have the mechanism to tell your body to grow. And so there is a lot of collagens, but they have other factors, but they really do not repair the joints that we're talking about. We need to have the collagen molecule. It carries with it a molecule on the side that when it gets into the body, it triggers the fact that it wants to rebuild the collagen that was there. And there's still a scaffold there, but it's been damaged. And that scaffold can be told to really generate new collagens on the surface that can be used for increased mobility. And what happens is there's nerves in there. And so you want to make sure those collagen are covering up some of those nerves so that every time you move, you don't have pain. So the joint pain are nerves that are in the normal tissue, and it's telling you that you're wearing down your tissues, and you should address it either by not working so hard or not abusing it, or you should trigger it to replace what's been lost so you can renew your original activities. So the pains either say we're damaged and we're worn and we shouldn't be used, and that's called aging. But now we do have the ability to trigger regeneration, and we got 30 articles, 30 places where we can, with a certain molecule, being even just going into digestive system. We want to do that. We don't have to inject it. We have to eat it. The stomach and the digestive system picks up the molecule that says we have to regrow and start manufacturing inside your body more of this cartilage material right where it was. And so if you would look at a damaged knee, it looks like sandpaper on sandpaper. There's all little tiny pits. And right next to those pits are nerves. So every time it moves, it doesn't move freely. It's like you said, sandpaper. There's friction there, and that triggers the nerve to say it's painful. What we have to do, and we have all the proof people want to know, we regrow those little pitted areas and we make it a nice smooth film. Now that's why our collagen, we have the proof that by taking it, you can generate a layer of new collagen that is smooth, and the other side is a layer that's smooth, and then you put the lubricant between it, and you can almost remove most joint pain. After 3 to 4 months, you can grow enough that the joint pain should be almost negligible.
Wow, that's very impressive to hear.
Well, it's impressive because we got 50 people or 60 people who say it works.
That's the best thing. That it's one thing to have data. It's another thing to actually have people actually back it up and say, yes, this actually works. So what other benefits does type 2 collagen offer?
Okay, first of all, it's easy to take. It's not harmful. So first of all, you can purchase it. It is the molecule that you need. So first of all, you're purchasing the right one. You can see my prejudice here. 3/4 of the collagen you buy will not take care of joint pain because the molecule, if it's water, I'm just saying, if it's water soluble, you've lost your identity to make this collagen. You need to have something that is not water soluble and that has not been damaged. We treat our product very gently so that the product that we're using, the molecules in there, can be sent in their natural form. Your body, once they see the right molecule, will trigger the right process to repair the joints. Your body will do it. It'll do it in a couple of weeks. You'll start feeling it already. And we know our people say, now this is not instantaneous. You didn't get this in one day. It'll take about 3 months for you to be pain-free. The first month, you have to fill in those pits. And the second month, you almost have to make it smooth. And the third one, you start secreting a lubricant between the two again so that the two move on each other smoothly without friction.
I think that's very important to mention about the time frame, because I think a lot of people think you take a pill and 15 minutes later you're cured. So I like the fact that you're kind of giving people a realistic, expectation to kind of say this is going to take time and explaining why it takes time. And like you said, it took years for this to happen. It's not going to be reversed in a couple of minutes.
But the good news is it can be. We have so many people who will just say, well, we almost have our total mobility back. We're talking about people who probably are aging like in 50s or 60s and 70s who were heading for knee replacements. And there's stories about going to have their knee replacements. They wait, and the doctor comes back 3 months later and he says, "What happened?" And he says, "Why? Well, your knee looks different now than 3 months ago, and we're not going to replace it now because it looks almost healthy enough as what you had 6 months ago." We can have people now who do not need knee replacements, and we can just give you names after them who now are enjoying their original knees pain-free.
That's fantastic. I'm so happy you got involved in this and that you got, this product on the market, because I think it is important. And I really like sharing this knowledge, because I think there's a lot of people, there seems to be a lot of just things out there, and people don't, it's kind of hard to find this information. So I think it's great that you're able to come on and kind of explain things in a little bit more in-depth nature to be able to kind of explain it to people.
Yeah, so I'm trying to do it in what we call normal English. If you want to, sometimes we can go in the woods and I can talk to you about these big scientific molecules and all the reactions and all 15 steps that take place from the time you eat it till the time your pain goes away. We have the mechanism of how it works, and we know that it's a viable method that the body uses to repair. We're just telling the body that it should repair, and we've given it the right signal that it should repair. And it could be also on your hips. We have people who have hip pains that it's gone. We're talking about all kinds of joints, arthritis in your fingers. People couldn't hardly use their fingers, and now their motion is back, ability. But also the main thing is we hope that it's less painful. And usually we've had. Now, is this perfect? No, we probably can't cure all. Sometimes we call this the joints are so damaged that we can't come up with what we need to start with to start the process of rebuilding all the collagen that you need. So, but for a lot of people, we don't guarantee it totally, but for most people, this product in 3 months, and that's why we do the 90-day challenge. We haven't lost any of these. Will your pain be better after 3 months of taking this? And generally speaking, we have had very good success with using this product for 90 days, and then continuing too. Though your body is not as good as it used to be, so this is a continued mechanism. We are always now regrowing, because even at, let's say you're elderly, by motion, you're still losing some. So we have to be maintaining our cartilage being renewed until we die. I mean, because we are still doing, normal functioning of your knees, of your arms. Normal needs lubrication, and it needs to be maintained. And we need to maintain first we're going to regain, and then we're going to maintain healthy joints. We do both. We regain it first. By continuing to take this, we maintain a healthy joint.
Excellent. That is, and you did an excellent job of bringing it down to the level of the non-scientist being able to explain it. I think you did a very good job on that, because I certainly can understand it now. And I think it's important, especially the people in the podcast listening to this, that they can understand it, and that you did an excellent job on that.
Thank you.
I'm going to give you the last few minutes to kind of summarize your thoughts, and I'm just going to give you the floor.
Okay. You have to understand the science. There is a science. Your body is a wonderful mechanism, and one of the most ability things that we have is movement. It is great that we can move our shoulders. It's great that we can move our hips. It's great. So we have so many joints in the body, and every joint, every time you have a movable joint, it has to be lubricated. And one of the products that we do is we also make sure that after the joint is repaired and is close to being normal, we maintain the lubrication so that we don't have the problem you had 20 years ago that started this process. So the joint is repaired, and we got all the X-rays. We can show you stuff where that new white lines are there, and then we repair the joint, and then the joint stays active and functional because we are lubricating that joint with the proper lubricant that our molecules tell our body to make to lubricate the joints. That's the main thing we need right now. For anything, when you have two things moving, it has to be lubricated. And so the fluid in there is so important. So we do both. Now, 90% of all collagen products on the market will not do either one, really. And so, but this one here is we're going to rebuild and maintain. And we've got people here on this for years who said, you know what, I feel as good now as I did. I don't see any loss of function. I don't see pain coming. My pain is gone and it's still gone. And so we've been having people on this for years, and they come back and say, hey, it is still working, and it should work as long as you're taking it. But some people have stopped and they said, you know what, it came back. And so we know that if you want to regain and maintain flexibility and your lifestyle, this is a product that will do it.
Where can somebody go to learn more about this online?
Okay. SB Edge has a website, and if you just you'll be talking about that, and we know about it. So SB Edge is on the web. Everything I have said so far today is on the web, and then it'll tell you if you want to purchase it, how to purchase it, and you can use a credit card. And then what we have is ongoing. We have a product where we send out every 2 months 2 bottles, and we'll maintain a source of collagen for you to take. That's sort of trouble-free. Every month or every 2 months, you'll be getting the bottles in the mail. And people have really enjoyed the fact that we take care of the problem of sometimes, well, I don't have time to get to the store to buy this. The product, we make it easy for the customer. We will send them even to the date. And we have a great team here of phone numbers. If they call in and they want to postpone a month or something like this, our team of people here can take care of their requests. And a lot of the requests is to send to somebody else. Nothing advertises better when one person says it works so good, and he tells his friend and somebody else. The marketing takes place by just happy people telling other friends, hey, it worked for me, you should try it. And we've gotten a lot of new customers just by being told by a friend how well this has worked in their life.
Excellent. I'm also going to put a link on the podcast. I actually have a link to the website. So people, if they're watching this, if you go down into the notes, we'll make sure there's a link that goes to the website so they can go there as well. So Dr. Kramer, thank you very much for the time. And I mean this sincerely, for explaining it to us so that we have a better understanding about how we can deal with joint pain and what you've done and the work that you've done and the products that you've created, and just kind of putting it all together for us on the podcast. We appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Abe. Thank you for being here today. And I appreciate your interest and our discussion today. I've really enjoyed sharing some of this insights. Okay.
We've certainly enjoyed you as well. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We would love to hear your feedback and suggestions for future podcasts. Just click on the email listed in the description. We would also ask you to like or subscribe to our podcast.